I imagine there's been an extra spring in the lad's step, has there, since Friday night?
He said, well, getting a win will give you a little bit of a boost, and it's, like I say, the way we won as well. The Easter period was tough for everybody. We managed to get a couple of players back again, but it wasn't about somebody coming over the hill and solving all our problems. It's a little bit more game time for Joe, a little bit more time for Gilly, both together in a couple of games. So that was a bit of a boost as well. And yeah, the relief more than anything else. Like I said, we hadn't been playing badly over the Easter period. We just hadn't been consistent enough throughout the games. And yeah, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, it's nice to get a win, but we know that that's not going to solve all our problems. We've got to put a string of games together. We've got to be more consistent in our performances. But it's a nice feeling to sit down, and all the effort you put into the game gives you a bit of a reward.
I suspect you probably felt that the two tries Saints scored were preventable, but overall your defence, I thought, was very solid on the night.
We were better defensively. Our goal line D, especially in the second half, like I say, not to concede in the second half. Again, the two tries were fatigue tries on your line. It was just, like I said, the stumbling and falling catch that Faj had for his first try. It was one of those where a bouncing ball's always a dangerous ball, where everybody sort of switches down. It seemed like the people around him felt that he'd dropped the ball. And I think generally the game was littered with fatigue elements, but it wasn't like a game which you usually see after the Easter period, where those fatigue elements lead to 30-40 points from both sides being scored, and whoever can just sort themselves out for a couple of sets usually gets the win. It was physical, it was tough, both sides were fighting really hard to get the win. And I thought we created the better of the opportunities, that we played some really good stuff. I think both Pat's tries and even the little bit of break we got for Joe's try were well constructed and put him into good use.
I think you probably had, 5 or 6 players who were on the second game over Easter rather than the third. I don't think it was a master plan, it was circumstances, wasn't it, more than anything? Do you think that helped in the energy battle in the second half?
I think a little bit, but I think it was more the idea of not using Tom and Joe. Like I say, he's not played for all season, he's not played for 4 months. You've been on a treatment table, you've been out on your own, running up and down the sideline trying to get fit. And then you say, right, we're going to play 3 really tough games in 7 days, and we'll hope that you don't break again. I think we had to be smarter as a group than that for a number of things with the players. So there was a little bit of a plan there, but like necessity is always the cause when you've got a squad the size that we have. Like I say, Danny Walker was great, but you don't really want to be sticking a 17-year-old kid into a side when you need to win. You only use him when things are going well. And the same with Walsh and with Farnworth. It was a bit more necessity than actually desire.
If you can keep your key players, your playmakers, if you like, playing together over the next few weeks, you'll be hoping that the attacking cohesion, which hasn't been quite there, gets better.
I think overall, what you see when you put your better players back in your side and you get a little bit of feedback off each other. The lads just sort of feed off that energy that each other provides. Plus the standard goes up, the accountability goes up because of the experience. You want your experienced players to feed off that. At the moment, our better performances have come from our junior players. Or bringing more senior players back into the group, the expectations will change. I think we've seen that over these last 3 games. The expectations have changed amongst the players because the better players are in the side. How we finish our sets, what we do with the ball early in our sets, those are things that are accountability is held up really strongly within the group. And that's what you get. You get a chance to get your better players on the field. They play every single week. Again, that accountability goes up within the group. And then I sit over the top of it with the other coaches, making sure that they don't break out of the pathway we're trying to go down, but they drive everything forward with their own standards.
Chris Bridge pulled out just before the game. Corey Thompson was sort of hobbling a bit, wasn't he, for the last 20 minutes or so? Are those two all right for this?
Yeah, they seem to be okay. I think Bridgie was he was always on that edge. It was okay, it wasn't okay, he was all right, and then leading into the game he was fine. And then it was disappointing. I think he was disappointed as well. I think he was trying to get on the field, and I think the understanding of where we were, and that's Steph Marsh was really unfortunate to myself, because what he played, the reason behind Steph not playing was the fact that he actually looked quite fatigued the week before. He played in a position that he wasn't used to against Leeds, because he's not playing the centres for about a year or so. He played 80 minutes and put in a big shift in both games. So it was just, like I say, a shuffling the decks to give him a bit of a break that he didn't really want or deserve. It was the fact that, and he was sat there on the bench waiting, and Chris was, I can try, but I'm not sure how long it's going to last. This is tidying up. It was a no-brainer that you just stick Steph out there and just go with the fittest bloke you've got on the team.
Patrick Arvan, people will talk about him for his 2 tries, and rightly so, but he gives you a lot of other nice things, doesn't he, Pat, when he's in the side? I thought both against Leeds and against Saints, he gives you a great coming out of your own 20, for example, after kicks and what.
Yeah, he's got, like I say, you can pull wingers to pieces, and you want quick wingers, and you can want wingers that can score long-range tries, or you want someone like Pat Arvan that can do things that nobody else can do in the league. He's a winger that gets you wins in backfield because of his size and because his fearlessness. He gets you tries because he's got skill levels and the ability to score tries out of nothing. You get close to the line, you want the ball in someone like Pat's hands. He's hard to stop. He knows where the try line is. And we've missed him. We've missed him sorely over the time he's not been playing. Again, just because of the work he does in the backfield that helps the forwards, how hard he is to put down, how much energy he takes out of the opposition to tackle him. And the lads love playing with him, and I think it shows his value quite easily, and the way he performed in both games after being out for such a long time.
And on a similar theme, you must be happy with the way Alex Gerrard went against Warrington, he played, didn't he? After his long layoff, he's good, isn't he?
That's what we've been waiting for, good players to come back. I think we always knew what Alex was. We knew if we could get him back on the field, and we could keep him healthy, we've got a player that hits numbers that are in the top 3 or 4 props in the competition, not just in the club here. So over the period of time that when Alex was in the side, he's always delivered a quality of performance that puts him in the category of one of the better front rows in the competition. He missed that, and the other lads missed playing off the back of it. So have him in the rotation, to have him in that pack gives everybody a boost, and then everybody else's standards go up a little bit. So they're the kind of, like say, you bring Pat in and you get something like that, so the competition gets better. You bring Alex in. I think Joe and Tom are starting to fire a little bit now. They'll both be disappointed in some of their game management stuff. They'll be pleased with some of the other stuff they did. But we know there's so much more improvement to come from both those players. Joe's played 2 games in 4 months. It's a big ask to ask him to be at the top of his game after that time.
Salford this week, they've had a great start to the season, and generally speaking, Salford, haven't they give you a bit of a touch-up, frankly, didn't they, here at home? So probably still going to be the underdogs this week, maybe for a while in all the games you played, but encouraging signs at St Helens, but plenty to worry about from Salford.
Well, without doubt, yeah. Like you look at the quality of the team that they've had. They've been able to put on the field. Like I said, they'd be the first to admit that their depth's not the greatest, but none of the sides are on that bottom half of the table or from 8 to below. I've got fantastic depth. So, but they've managed to keep both their halves on the field. Gaz O'Brien's playing the best rugby of his career. So they're dangerous, and like I said, from across the park, I think Murdoch Masilla is probably the form back rower in the competition as well. Josh Jones is very dangerous with the ball in his hands, and they've got people that can finish. So yeah, they've scored plenty of points. They play some good rugby. They've plenty of confidence in the group at the moment, and they're well drilled and well coached. So these competitions with Salford over the last 3 or 4 years have been some of the highlights of the year. We've had some great tussles, especially on the Magic weekends, beating them in Challenge Cup at their place, winning down at the AJ Bell Stadium on a couple of occasions, getting really close here and losing a couple. So both sides have had a run at each other over the last couple of years. So it should be a great competition. Again, we're looking to build and move forward. They're looking to consolidate a place at the table that looks pretty strong.
Ian Watson's obviously trying to forge a career as Super League coach, and looks to be doing a pretty decent job there.
We're all trying to forge, even the ones that have been in a long time, are still trying to forge a career. That's the nature of the beast. Ian, he works hard at his coaching. He's come through a system, and he's coaching the Championship. He's learnt his trade. He's a Super League coach. That's what he is now. He's not trying to forge anything. He's a head coach of a Super League side. There's only 12 of those jobs out there. So if you're in it, then you obviously must be half decent at what you do. I think working under Tim Sheehan's last year's probably helped him a lot, but I think he's got his own ideas. He's got some real good management skills, and he understands the game, being a halfback. So yeah, it's pleasing when you see British coaches that are working hard at being coaches and not just relying on a name or just a little bit of luck. He's worked hard to be in that situation. Deserves everything they've got at the moment. They were a good side last year. They played some really good rugby, and the players enjoy the environment. They want to play there. But yeah, that always makes it that little bit special, the tussle between two sides that are working hard and trying to do what's right by the game.
A little bit of a roll call then, Dennis, in terms of who might be available for selection this week, who perhaps didn't play against Saints. Anyone back in the mix?
Yeah, there could be a chance that both Eamon O'Carroll and Hep Cahill come through this week. Whether they'll get in the side or not will be another thing as well, because it depends on, we've had a good turnaround, some decent performances against St Helens. So it's just that little bit of competition for places now that puts them back in that mix there. And we're still got a couple of bumps and bruises, so we're still early in the week from a couple of lads that took a whack. But again, the decent turnaround, not playing till Sunday, gives us a chance to use these next few days really well. Get some energy back in the players. The players have had 3 days off. In a sense, they've just been away from the club for 3 days. Like I said, they've been doing some rehab and a little bit of homework, so to speak, with lads that needed to do a little bit of work. But just a break after a couple of weeks over Easter and the intensity that carried that and the fatigue elements in those 3 games in that short period of time. So I'm hopeful they're going to freshen them up this week, put another couple of players in the mix to make the competition a little bit tougher, and then we'll hopefully select from a decent panel of players. Like I say, I'm hopeful that Chris is going to be right. Chris Bridges is going to be back in the mix for selection as well, but it's going to be hard to displace Steph Marsh at the moment because of how well he played. So I think Steph's put himself in that box window from his performances over against, especially against Leeds and against St Helens, and he's played well all year, Steph. So that, but Chris fighting for his place as well is always a good thing. But it's going to be a place where you want to be. We're still a little bit short. Danny Craven's probably not going to be right for about another 10 to 12 weeks. So he's not the pressure on the house. But we've got 2 other halfbacks that are nice and fresh after a long injury break back and competing. So the wingers are playing hard. Still pretty tight, but it's nice to get those, especially those middles back. The long termers, such as Eamon and Alex, back in that mix as well, and Hep's been working really hard. He's about 3-4 weeks ahead of schedule. Well, that's just Hep.
How long are we looking at maybe for White and Jeremiah, Dennis? You hope us.
Jeremiah could be another couple of weeks. We found out that he had a slight tear in his quad, so a dead leg moved into being something that we couldn't shift, so we had to rescan him. We sent him to a couple of places, and after having the scans reread by a number of people, we found that the reason that he wasn't recovering as quickly as we thought he should for a dead leg was he had a slight tear in his quad that was quite deep and hard to spot. So that sort of delayed him a little bit, just to make sure that gets right. Lloyd, we've got to be smart with Lloyd, just because I think I held my hand up as well. I put pressure on the medical team they said he was right. Lloyd said he was right. Could he have done with another week or so? Probably. I just brought him back that week too early, just pushed him back probably 3 or 4 weeks, which is unfortunate. But when you feel like you need somebody on the field to give you that boost, I think Lloyd would have been that bloke. And I think the biggest problem he had was he moved from being a hooker into a half. He had to kick, he had to change his style of play slightly, and that put pressure on something that we hadn't really considered him having to do.